thank you all for joining us. We have many Durst family members here today from generations 3, 4, and 5. This is a moment of tremendous pride for our family and company, and we hope for all of you as well. Breaking ground on a project of this size and complexity is a team effort. It has taken 7 years of work to arrive at today. Since the project's inception, it has been a collaboration. Our partner, the exceedingly capable and wise Lincoln Equities, began by listening to members of the neighborhood as to what they needed and wanted from the project. Lincoln also engaged with local elected officials and community leaders, laid a tremendous amount of groundwork, and created enduring goodwill. This process was a time-consuming and challenging one, but it is the right way to develop, and it yields a superior product. Thank you very much to the residents of Astoria houses in NYCHA, Community Board 1, Council Member Constantinides, Assembly Member Nolan, State Senator Genaris, Borough President Katz, Congresswoman Maloney, CPC, DOB, HPD, and Deputy Mayor Alicia Glenn, and her Chief of Staff, James Patchett. And thank you to Mayor de Blasio for joining us today and for your leadership, ingenuity, and the faith you have had in this project. As a result of all this hard work by all of these talented people, we have seized a unique opportunity to help transform this vacant and underutilized stretch of the Hallett's waterfront into a thriving community. A community of up to 2,400 new units of rental housing with at least 480 units of affordable housing. A community that will push the envelope of sustainability as we build the first off the electrical grid residential campus in New York City. A community that will include a much-needed full-sized supermarket and retail for all of its residents. A community that will employ local residents in its construction and operations. A community with open space and access to the waterfront for everyone to enjoy. A community that will utilize its waterfront to connect via ferry to the rest of the city. As I mentioned before, we are a multi-generational company, and we have a stubborn dedication to New York City and to the neighborhoods in which we build. We look forward to many years of continued partnership with this community as we build something beautiful and lasting together. I now would like to introduce you to my partner, Joel Bergstein.
Nearly 7 years ago, Bob Schenkel, head of development at Lincoln, and I came to this peninsula and saw the great potential of this location. The Astoria Houses community was here, but it was isolated and had few services. We understood that the only way the property could successfully be rezoned was if the residents and stakeholders would support the rezoning of the waterfront in a true partnership. So day one, we engaged with the residents of Astoria Houses, led by Claudia Koger, and Urban Upbound, led by Bishop Mitchell Taylor. We learned that job training, employment opportunities for residents of Astoria Houses, as well as services, including a supermarket, were high on the list, and of course, more affordable housing. Before a shovel has gone into the ground, the Durst organization has fulfilled that promise in a training and employment program for local residents, which will become permanent employment when the buildings are operational. With that hope, our joint partnership starts a new tradition for real estate developers and communities working side by side to make New York City a place to live, work, and thrive for all. Of course, none of this would be possible without the support of the city administration and all the agencies. Thank you to Mayor de Blasio, Council Members Constantinides, Senator Gianaris, Borough President Katz, Congresswoman Maloney, and a special thanks to Peter Vallone Sr. We also like to thank John Young of Queens Planning and Burton Leon of NYCHA, who were the constants through the 6 years of the approval process. Up until this moment, Hallett's Point was just words and drawings on a paper. Today, the Durst organization has made it a reality. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Congresswoman Carolyn Moore.
This is just a great way to start the day, announcing affordable housing, new units of housing, reclaiming really an unused, beautiful area of a waterway and turning it into a beautiful project for our great city. I know our mayor is here today. He's smiling because he's thinking about those 485 units of affordable housing. And all of this would not have happened without the incredible work of the Durst organization and the Lincoln organization. Believe me, making something like this happen is just incredibly difficult. It takes some really hard work and almost genius to put together a plan, the financing, all the pieces of it. And helping them make that happen is a team of extraordinary public leaders, I'd say some of the best in the whole city. The team here that we have in Queens, our Borough President Katz, State Senator Gianaris, Assemblywoman Kathy Nolan, Councilmember Costa Constantinides, and of course Community Board Chair Claudia Koger. Thank you so much. I just want to say on this team, I'm in Washington most of the time, but I know that while I'm there, every community concern and all of the challenges are being met by this group of dedicated elected officials. And this is really a state-of-the-art development. Currently, this stretch is a waterfront. It's beautiful, but it's isolated and underused. And it suffers from a lack of transportation and retail. And we're going to all have to work to change that. But now, thanks to the Durst organization and Lincoln Equities and our mayor, Astoria residents who've been part of supporting this, this is all going to change. I really want to thank the Durst family, every single one of them, not only for their hard work for this project, but for their civic engagement. I know that Mr. Durst, Doug Durst, he has never turned down an invitation or a request to testify before the City Council. And our great speaker, Peter Vallone, is here. He was always there. Peter will always be our speaker, and he'll always be such an important part of making things happen here in Queens and in our state. And their father, Seymour Durst, was he was the head of the Citizens Against Westway. And the mayor, the governor, the president, they were all for Westway. And there were just like a handful of us opposed to it. And we won. We won at the Supreme Court, and that largely because of his efforts and his leadership on fighting that ill-conceived project. But with this new project that we're building today, or they're building today, we're not only going to have 483 units of affordable housing, but stores, space for school, much-needed green space, and it'll help breathe new life and vitality into this community and into this peninsula. Already, because of this project, the city is committed to bringing the East River Ferry services right here to the Astoria waterfront. That's going to be great, not only for this project, but for Astoria houses. And I'm hopeful that this project will be a boon to the residents, I believe it will, of Astoria houses, who will benefit along with the rest of the city and the neighborhood from the waterfront esplanade, the improvements, the new shops, the new markets, and from the brand new K-8 school that will be built on the site. As a former teacher, I'm particularly thrilled about that. And I do want to commend again the Durst organization and Lincoln Equities and Jonathan Rose companies for their vision. I want to share with you that in Congress, I serve on the Financial Services Committee, and in the committee meeting room is always a picture of the Durst organization clock that shows the deficit and the debt of our country, to remind us as we're deliberating in Congress that we do have this debt. That is another example of civic contributions to our city. Along with area improvements and the desperately needed affordable housing, the developers have approached this project in an environmentally responsible manner, which is also very important. If you listen to the President's speech this week, they said that we are now 40% less dependent on foreign oil. That's because of environmental initiatives that we've taken nationally, and they are taking also important environmental initiatives with this project, and I want to really, really thank them for this. These include waterfront infrastructure improvements, which will help protect the neighborhood from future superstorms, along with a state-of-the-art wastewater recycling plant that will help reduce waste into the East River. They deserve an applause for that. These are investments in the future and the environment of our great city. I particularly appreciate and respect the fact that they reached out to the community, to the people that live here, throughout the process, not at the end, but from the beginning. And the Hallett's project point truly benefits the community, including pushing for the developers to hire local residents for the jobs that will be created on this project. So I want to thank you, all the residents who played an important part, particularly our special leader, Claudia Koger, who heads so many of the organizations, not just the community, but the Tenants Association, Education Project. She heads everything. Believe me, she's important. I can't list all of her titles. And I want to say how I'm so thrilled that I was here and not in Washington, so that I could be part of this very special improvement in our community, this very special opportunity. And I can just see the faces of the residents that will be able to live here because of the vision and hard work of so many people that are here today. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Let me know what I can do to help. It is a great project. New York City's going forward, and Queens is going forward, and the person leading the way is our borough president, Melinda Katz. Believe me, all these good things, they happen because one person brings us together, puts us on the same page, and says, go to work. Melinda, we thank you. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for all the work Carolyn Maloney does in Washington. Costa Constantinidis, who is a great leader in our community, Senator Gianaris, who I will introduce in a second, and our community board, who's done so much work in the Community Board 1, and we thank them for the work that they have done. I want to also thank the mayor. First of all, every time the mayor and I do a ribbon groundbreaking, it's cold. So we appreciate that we have this nice overhang and this tent today. But you know, we're here groundbreaking on an affordable housing project. And you gotta give the mayor credit. For the first time in my 22 years of office, every single person is talking about affordable housing in the entire city of New York as a priority. And we may agree, disagree how to get there sometimes, but at the end of the day, it takes a good leader to make sure that we have the whole city talking about huge projects that will matter in people's lives. So Mayor de Blasio, thank you very much. And today we are here to celebrate the groundbreaking. I am so excited to be here to enhance the next step in Astoria. The new mixed-use, mixed-income development is the first installment in our future of this borough, and another fine example of how public and private sectors can work together. New housing, new commercial space, a neighborhood supermarket, open spaces to improve our quality of life for our families, young and senior. Over 480 units of affordable housing. People need a place to live. Folks need places to raise their children. Seniors need places so they can be close to their families. And every unit of affordable housing that we build is a great thing. But it's within a larger project that is also going to give a lot of folks the infrastructure we need to move on and make sure that we raise our families with the right supermarkets and schools and open spaces. And that combination was only possible because of the community outreach of the Durst organization and Lincoln, and we do thank them for that. When I was running for borough president, they approached me. When they just knew that there may be a possibility of someone else in that office, they made sure the communication was there. And I know that they did that with the entire community. So Queens is moving and shaking. Folks want to come here, they want to live here, they want to raise their children here, they want to invest here. And that's a good thing. And so we are excited about this project. Speaker Vallone, always lovely to have you back in our borough. And we thank Hallett's Cove and all the work that went into this project. But most of all, we really thank the leadership of the community who helped shape the project that will be. Congratulations to everyone. I got so excited. So, this community is so blessed to have great leadership. And so today it is my honor to introduce the Deputy Minority Leader of the New York State Senate, Michael Gianaris.
Good morning. What a nice group. I have represented this community for over 15 years, and from the first day I had that privilege, there was always a discussion attempt of how to unlock more of the waterfront that we have in Western Queens. Because you could just see from looking over my shoulder, it is a jewel that has been underutilized for many years. And that's why what's happening today is so special for those of us who have spent our lives here. Obviously, Speaker Vallone lives not too far from here, walking distance, I think, so he knows this as well as anybody. But this is such an exciting project, not just because it's getting built, not just because beautiful buildings will emerge on the waterfront right stone's throw from Astoria Park, but because it's being done in a way that will maintain the character and the economic viability of this neighborhood. The affordability is crucial. Western Queens is exploding up and down, from Long Island City up to Astoria in a good way. And what we've always been cautious about is that this has been a solid working class community, and we don't want to price people out of our neighborhood. We don't want people who can no longer afford to live and age in the community that they made so great to be here. And this project will involve hundreds of units of affordability and done in a way that should be a model for future developments. The Durst organization, Lincoln Equities, from the first day spoke to the representatives, spoke to the Tenants Association, Ms. Koger, spoke to Bishop Taylor and the great civic leaders we have in our community, spoke to our community board, and came up with a project that is not just a development in and of itself, but is integrated into this community in a way that is going to be beneficial for everybody. New retail, new supermarkets, things that we have needed in this peninsula for decades are finally coming thanks to this development. And so it's a thrill for me to be here, part of this. I do want to say something as well about the mayor and his great efforts in this regard. The affordable housing that is needed in this city, everybody knows is crucial. And it's important, especially when we're here in the boroughs other than Manhattan, that we come up with a way that we make it economically viable to build affordable housing in our communities. There's a lot of debate going on right now in the state government that we're going to be dealing with, but it's incumbent upon those of us in government to make sure we come out at the end of this debate, at the end of this discussion, with a way for developments to go forward, because they're not going to get built if they can't make money. And if we want them to have rents that are affordable, we need to make sure that they can succeed. And so I'm committed to making that happen. And by the way, while they get built, if we can provide some good paying jobs for the folks that are out there, all the better. But most importantly, we need to keep these communities growing. New York is growing, Western Queens is growing, and we need to make sure we continue to do it in a way that's responsible and maintains the character of our neighborhood. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you everyone for being a part of this announcement. It's my turn to introduce the next speaker, who is someone who has played an integral role. This project started, I think, when Councilman Hall Jr. was still a councilman, but Councilman Constantinides has taken the baton and run with it. He has been an integral part of making sure we will get that ferry service not far from here, right at Astoria Houses. And I'll let him speak about all the other wonderful things he's done to make sure that this project succeeds, but he has been an asset to our community. Councilman Constantinides.
Good morning. It's a great great pleasure. Thank you for that introduction, Michael, and thanks for the great work that you do for our community day in and day out, both here in our neighborhood and in Albany. I really feel privileged to work with such a great group of elected officials like our Congressman Maloney in Washington, who leads the charge, and our borough president, to make sure that no one should go over a bridge or a tunnel to leave Queens. And oh well, for services. We should leave Queens occasionally, but not that often. And for our Assemblywoman Kathy Nolan, and to our mayor, I've had the great privilege of working not only on this project, but on Astoria Cove, fighting for affordable housing, fighting to do the people's work. Your commitment has never wavered, despite what people say, progressives can get things done, and they can get things done in unique and exciting fashion, so thank you, Mr. Mayor. Vision is seeing something that's not there and knowing you can create it. And the Durst organization and Lincoln Equities has had vision through this entire project. They've seen a community that not only underutilized, but a locked waterfront. A waterfront that they could look out their window every day and never touch it, never be associated with that water, and wonder, what can we do with that? We're a community, this peninsula is surrounded by water, and yet we've never had the opportunity to be involved with it. Well, this project changes the entire paradigm here. It's not a castle on a moat for some, it's a integrated development for all. It's going to make sure that all boats rise here on the House Gulf Peninsula. It's going to bring new transportation opportunities. It's going to bring real affordable housing for 480 families. That means something. Being able to stay in the community that they love. We want to make sure that we have a new school for our kids to be educated so that our schools aren't overcrowded. That we have a supermarket. For the last 25 years, there hasn't been one here. We have to make sure that anytime we do a development, this is the blueprint. We're doing this blueprint together, building infrastructure around it. That's why I'm so proud to have worked with all of my colleagues here, with the Durst organization, with Lakewood Equities, and look forward to seeing them with Bishop Taylor and the community board, and a woman that makes this go, a woman that from the first minute we met set me at ease, cares about this community in a way that she does so much. Every time I meet her, every time I talk to her, I find out something new. She marched with Dr. King. She's a fisherwoman. But really what she does is care about this neighborhood. So I'm proud to work with my friend, Claudia Koger.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, what a beautiful day this is. It's truly a day that the Lord has made. And I have to recognize him first because he is the leader of my life. I just want to reminisce just a little bit. I want to, almost everything that's been said is history here. But I just feel so blessed just to be sitting in the midst of our Peter Malone Sr. because Peter Malone Sr. was one of the first politicians that I connected with. And I thank you, sir, for leading and caring for this community down through the years. I want to just say also that when we first started to talk about our Astoria revitalization here, and when Lincoln Equities came here to sit to talk with us, and they were such gentlemen and scholars, and so concerned about us who live here on the peninsula. And we had that dialogue with them as to what we would like to see here on the peninsula. And they listened to us. And when we took it from here out to the public and had our public hearings at the First Reformed Church, the entire community was involved. And they listened and they wrote it down. And when they started to do their blueprints and etc., they listened and they wrote it down. And today, we come to see that our community is going to be revitalized. It's going to be restored according to the entire community on this peninsula and surrounding community. And that's important. One thing people don't understand is communication is the key. And as we communicated from here, the desires of the hearts of the people, as well as the developers, investments, and etc., we come to full fruition today to be glad the community is going to be revitalized and restored, where any and everybody will be able to come to this community and appreciate it. For years, I won't go through all of it, but we had some desertions, we had some devastations on the peninsula, we had some evacuations, we had some escapes, we had all types of things that happened on the peninsula. But we did not give up. We have resilience. We the people here, we planned, we prayed, we hoped, and today is a reality of all of that effort. To roll back the hand of time, when Bishop Taylor came to this peninsula with a ministry, we were devastated. But with his efforts and his pressing on, the community binded together. And as the time rolled by, we came forth with an urban upbound where all of the people could save their money. We have a credit union. We have all types of things. I just want to let you know that we are anchored and grounded in this community because of the hearts and the feelings of people who cared and appreciate all of the politicians down to the years that gave us a helping hand. We thank you. We thank you all. I might not call all of your names because I'm just not good at names. But I do see your faces and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate you heartily, Bishop Mitchell G. Taylor, my son in the gospel. I thank you. I appreciate you. And so does this community. We thank you so, so much. And with that note, without going any further, I take great pleasure to even be alive, just to stand here before you today, to introduce to some and present to others none other than our great mayor of the city of New York, Mayor de Blasio.
Well, there is a lot to be inspired by today, but I'm inspired by Claudia. Let's give her another round of applause. Think about vision. It takes vision to recognize that a community can be down but not out. That a community could have been set back but still have a great future. You know the phrase, "this far by faith." A lot of faith helped us get to this day, and a lot of people hung on in the tough times believing they could create something better. So for Claudia, and Claudia as a leader and representative of all the people in this community, a round of applause for perseverance through this great day. Well, I just want to be thankful that so many people came together, got something done. Carolyn mentioned that she'd rather be here than in Washington, D.C. I agree, Carolyn. You definitely would rather be here, and that is for one reason immediately. Here, everyone has found a way to work together and get something done. If I were to take a poll of everyone here, we might not agree on every single issue. You know what? We don't have to agree on every single issue because we want to get things done for people. And that's what comes first. So this is an example of the spirit of New York City and the willingness of people to roll up their sleeves. I want to thank everyone here, and I do want to take a moment to name some names. Everyone in my administration who played a role, including one who's here, my senior advisor, Gabrielle Fialkoff. I want to thank all the elected officials, Carolyn Maloney, Linda Katz, Michael Janaris, Kathy Nolan, Costa Constantinides, all supported the strengthening of this community in so many ways. Peter Vallone Sr., well, he's my former boss, so I got to start with that. I learned a lot from him. I think anyone who spent time with him learned a lot from him. And this is a day you have a lot to be proud of as well. I want to thank Doug Durst and Jody Durst from the Durst Organization, Joel Bergstein from Lincoln Equities, Bishop Taylor, and everyone at Urban Upbound for your great work. The chair and the community boards play a crucial role in this as well. The chair and community board one, Joseph Reese Jr., thank you, and thank you to everyone on the community board. Eric Matthews, founder of Minor Miracles, thank you. Reverend Dwayne Jackson of the First Reformed Church of Astoria, thank you. I knew a woman once who said it takes a village. It does take a village to create something as great as this. And you heard that there was a lost opportunity here for years. And it's finally changing. The whole neighborhood will rise. Hallett's Point is going to be good for every surrounding neighborhood. It's going to be good for all of Queens. It's going to be another Phoenix rising in this city. And it will definitely be good for the people of Astoria, and particularly the people of Astoria houses, who deserve a better opportunity. This was done right because the people of the community were a part of it. This was done right because it was seen as an opportunity to right some wrongs, to address some mistakes of history. Families deserve good food to eat. They deserve a supermarket that will give them fresh produce. It's finally happening. Should have happened a long time ago. It's finally happening because of this project. There'll be a great new school for our children. There'll be jobs for people who long have not had as much opportunity as they deserve. And yes, I am a little obsessed with affordable housing, guilty as charged. I tend to say the words affordable housing 50 to 100 times each day. So I'm going to say affordable housing now. And I am particularly moved by the fact that in the very first building there will be 100 affordable apartments for low-income families. And hundreds more affordable apartments in the years to come. You know, I set us out on a goal of building and preserving 200,000 affordable apartments in this city. Some said it could not be done. Many naysayers emerge when you offer a brand new vision and a different vision. Well, after 2 full years, I can tell you, we're very proud to announce 2015, we financed 21,041 affordable apartments, the most in the history of this city in any single year. Grand total over 2 years is 40,204 apartments. Brothers and sisters, 40,204 apartments on the way right now, enough for over 100,000 New Yorkers who need affordable housing. That is what we are here to do. I'll finish with this. This city has worked when it's a city for everyone. Everyone in this room has a story, a family story, and typically it goes back to some people who struggled and strived. And their energy, their entrepreneurship, their creativity added up with everyone else's to make this city great, and that's why we're admired all over the world, in fact. So it has to remain a place for everyone. If it isn't affordable, it's not a place for everyone. Today we take another step forward toward that city for everyone again, and I will see you again. In 2017, we will be back here as we welcome a new ferry stop, right just a few hundred feet away from here. And as we see this beautiful community rise, congratulations to everyone today.
Please join us outside for the ceremonial bell break.